Yeah.
Well, thank you, Andrey, Dr. Bychkov, for inviting me. Andrey is one of our most prolific authors. I counted over 60 topics that are now on the site, and considering that some of them have been rewritten, he's probably written over 100 topics. He started writing for us in 2015. Soon afterwards was a head and neck editor. Then soon after that became a deputy editor for head and neck pathology, as well as special projects. He's worked on our What's New newsletter, which is a very popular newsletter. He's helped us a lot with digital pathology and with many other things. So thank you, Andrey, for inviting me. I'd like to go over a little bit about some of the history of our website and some of the things that people might not know about. Looking back, I don't think I thought about it at the time, but I realized that my whole life has kind of been as an activist. I've tried to look at things and do things that would make the world a better place. And applying it to pathology, I thought, it's always going to be hard to make a call on what pathology specimen, what the diagnosis should be. But if we want to get the information to figure out what goes into the diagnosis, that should not be difficult. When I started in 2001, the information is there. It shouldn't be so hard to get it. I think the information should be free for physicians. And when I was creating the website, I used the golden rule, basically said, if a website did something that I didn't like, I'm not going to do it on my website. So the information I thought should be free, fast, and accurate. We were not going to charge as a matter of principle. We were not going to require people to register because I frankly don't like it. Journals do it, books do it. I didn't care about the money at first, so that was not an issue. I find it amazing that we are a business and we don't charge for our content, and yet the World Health Organization, who I like to pick on, insists that they have to charge for their books. And we've said, well, we'll post them on our site for free, but they refuse to do that. So, but we are committed to having a free, no registration website. That's not going to change. We want to make it very quick to access the content. Some sites spread the information out over many pages so that they get more advertising. We don't want to do that kind of annoying stuff. And if you think we're doing annoying stuff, let us know. We used to have some ads through Google. They turned out to be too annoying. We got annoyed by it. We said, we're just going to get rid of them, and we'll find a way to cover the money that they generated. We do regular link checking. It's a pain in the neck, but we found that a lot of websites, they changed their links. We used to link to the free images at the Archives of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine, and they changed the links. And I had to relink over 1,000 images, and then they changed it again. And I just said, the heck with them, and we just don't do that anymore. And now we require authors to submit their own micro images so that the links typically do not go bad. We also, we will respond to your comments. I look at the comments, or my staff does. We want to get the comments. If you think there's a problem, let us know. We do have ads. We had some visitors say, oh, we'd like you to get rid of all the ads, but that just doesn't work because we have 24 staff. They've been working now 24 years. They all want to get paid. Maybe if you want to donate as a pathologist your salary to us, then we can have less ads. But other than that, we have to have ads. We have 63 editors. They all get paid. We have some office expenses. Software is now a big expense. Conferences we go to are a big expense. For example, we're going to USCAP in March. The booth is $7,200. It costs about $1,000 for tables and chairs and carpeting and electricity. Then we've got 7 staff. We have to house them in the expensive hotels in Boston. We've got to fly them there. We paid them some food expenses. We paid their travel expenses. So that's what our advertising pays for. We also have consultants who help us. They know more than us. And I personally believe that businesses should be involved in charitable giving in a big way. It's good for society. It's good for our countries. It's also good for our business because I think we've all seen a lot of businesses where it goes to their head and the CEOs are doing terrible things. You can pick your own bad CEOs. this keeps us humble when we recognize, we're responsible for some charities. We tend to do scholarships, at least right now. We talk to the scholarship recipients and we realize, no, our job is not to make every single penny possible. We're not going to make everyone's lives miserable so we can make an extra dollar. The website began almost 24 years ago. We're going to start our 25th year in August. I initially wrote everything. And I started very small with the thyroid chapter and then just kept adding chapters. I had a friend who did website design. I wrote, each chapter was one Word document. I saved it in HTML and uploaded it. We had no references or minimal references, no images, but we started and kept going. That's basically my philosophy. I did not have a plan on how to do it other than to start and keep going. One of the problems I had was I found it very hard to delegate, so I did all the updates myself, which meant I always had to be by the computer. If I went on vacation, I spent half the time in front of the computer posting the updates. After a couple of years, people volunteered to write, and we still didn't have any formal process then, but they wrote, I would review it. That was the peer review. It wasn't very well thought out, but it worked. Now, initially, I thought every entity at every site should have its own description. So hemangioma of the appendix would have a description. It doesn't really make any sense because hemangioma at most sites is the exact same entity. So now we try to have one major topic, and there needs to be a really good reason to have a duplicate topic at another site. Sometimes there is, but a lot of times we've been getting rid of that. So we used to have 7,000 topics, and now we have about 4,600 because we've gotten rid of some of these redundant topics. We try to include every WHO included topic. Companion diagnostics are a big deal now. We'll include a lot of the new markers if they have a drug that's been approved in the US by the FDA or by something equivalent. We don't want to talk about markers that are just theoretical because a lot of them are never going to come to pass. We started an editorial board in 2015. Dr. Deborah Zinger at Ohio State was our first editor. She was also our first deputy editor and our first editor-in-chief, followed by Dr. Gonzalez, and now it's Dr. Pat Sang. And they have helped improve the editorial content of the website a great deal. You see Dr. Sang's in the upper left. We see Dr. Bychkov, he's third from the left. That's our deputy editors, and then the rest are the normal editors. So we have a lot. We're always adding more editors. And this year, we established, Dr. Sang had a great idea. She said, why don't we have a board of reviewers? Their job will be a little easier. We won't have all the responsibilities of the editorial board. And I was amazed that many editorial members who said, well, I can't do this anymore. It's too much work. They've agreed to stay on the board of reviewers. So that's one change. And we also have a resident fellow advisory board for trainees who have written for us and done a great job. And this is often a stepping stone to the board of reviewers, and the editorial board is not guaranteed, but it's something we think about. So it's an incentive for trainees to write for us, but they really have to do a great job. If you want to know more about our history, you can look in the footer with the About Us page, and that's got more. I'm not going to go into great detail about the author submission process. If you're interested in writing for us, that's great. Usually it's best if they're academic. You have to have written somebody on your author team. It doesn't have to be you. Somebody has to have written 5 fast first or last name publications in your subspecialty other than case reports. And the reason is because those people tend to know how to write for us so that we don't have to keep sending it back and saying, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, which is difficult for everybody. Somebody on your team, we've had people who are medical students. We've even had a high school student who did a great job. Obviously, somebody was overseeing them. So, but somebody has to meet this 5 publication requirement. We have 4,600 topics. About half of them are up to date, which means about half are not. And of the half that are not, about 650 are high priority based on traffic, or we have no content on them. They're new topics, or our editorial board says, we got to update this. So we'll try to give you your choice if you're an author. If you have a proposed new topic, you can send it to us. We'll run it by our editorial board, and they'll make the call. We have a publication process. It's similar for a journal. Most people like the process. We do surveys. We say, what can we do better? And they all say it's fine. So if you have input, that's great. But we have over 300 authors at any one time. We have over 1,000 total authors on the website. So we've gotten some expertise in how to do this. We have a process. When you send in your draft, it's reviewed internally by our staff, many different types of editors. Then we actually post a draft version on the site for internal use so that the authors can see it, they can see what it looks like, and then we send it out for peer review. So if you want to write for us, what we say is, we want you to be prepared to do a great job because this is going to be seen by pathologists around the world and they're going to rely on it. Also, it reflects on you, so you want to do a great job. You also have to respond to the peer review. So people are going to say, well, we'd like you to make this clear or talk about this. So that's part of the author process too. And we're working on software to help automate this process a little bit more, make it easier so that authors can look up to see what's going on. They don't have to email us. So I just want to add a couple features of the textbook you might not be aware of that are helpful. First, you can comment on any page using the comment tab in the header or footer. If you click on it, you get a pop-up. It tells you what page you're on, so you don't have to tell us. If you see a typo, something that's unclear, a link that's bad, if you give us your email, we'll respond and let you know it's fixed. If you don't, we'll fix it anyway. Usually it only takes us a couple of days. Sometimes it takes longer if we have to send it out to our editors to see whether what you're saying, your comment is actually true or not. It just depends. We try to do it as quickly as possible. We have, if you've written for us, you can see your name on our homepage. We have a recently updated section. It's a little, you have to scroll down a little bit. We've expanded the section so you can see these are all people who wrote something for us recently. You can click on the link and it'll take you to the topic. You can do a screenshot, show it to your mother or whatever. Keep it for your records. We have different mechanisms of searching the website. A lot of people, to my surprise, will just type in a search term, Langerhans cell histiocytosis plus pathology outlines in their browser, and that's how they find it. If you go to our homepage in the upper right, you see an enhanced Google search bar. I think it's very good. You start typing and it will fill in the rest, and then it will bring you to a page. It starts off with the topics that have that term and then every page that has it. So I think that works really pretty well. Also in the header, you can see on the upper left, there's a home box that takes you to the home page. Next to it is you click text box and there's a drop-down menu with all the subspecialties. This is also the same that you see on mobile. If you click on the subspecialty where there's an arrow, it will break down and show you each chapter, and you can click on that to search the chapter. Or you can just scroll down on the home page. We list all 60 chapters in alphabetical order. So those are all different search mechanisms. Something people don't know about, there's something called a breadcrumb for each topic in the upper left. You can see it says home. If you click there, it's sort of the path that you've taken to get here. Home is the home page. If you click there, it'll take you back to the home page. This is a topic in the cervix chapter. Click on cervix, it'll take you back there. It's just sort of showing you where you've gone. It's not that complicated. We've only got these levels. We have something that one of the visitors suggested called a super page. This is usually below the stains and above the alphabetical table of contents. Each chapter is 2 tables of contents. The first part is topical. It's kind of in the order that you'd see in a pathology textbook. The second part is alphabetical. And in between are these super pages. The first super page says entire chapter. If you click on it, it basically creates one page with everything in that chapter, with every topic in alphabetical order from top to bottom. And you can save it as a PDF. Some people have said they like to use that when they're driving in the car. They like to review it. We also have one called images. It will show you every image in that chapter, and you can pick what images you want to see. It could be all of them. It could be all the micro images. It could be all the cytology images. And then we have one for virtual slides. Let's say you want to see all the virtual slides for thyroid. You can click on this, and it would list every topic and its virtual slides. So that may be useful to you. We know pathologists love images, so we've expanded the size of our thumbnails. These are only for images that were submitted that are on our site, which is most of the micro images. It's not for non-micro images. And we're starting with the newer topics. So they are bigger. It's hard to tell maybe from the screen, but you see that they're going to start looking bigger on the newly added or updated topics. We're going to see if we can do that for the older topics too. It depends on whether our IT department can do it. We're also going to, June talked about AI. So it turns out when people send us images, they may send us an image originally 5 megabytes. And we thought, well, we don't need it that big. It slows down the website. So we're going to shrink it to maybe 750 kilobytes. And so when you click on the thumbnail, it loads the 750 kilobyte. But we know that based on AI, people want the original images. So we now are putting in, when we can, this is newer topics, a link that I'm not sure if you could see it, but it says in the legend, it will say, click here for larger image. So it doesn't really slow it down because most people aren't going to see it right away. But if you want to see it, you can see the big image that was originally sent by the author. Now, one of my big projects, I think it's great, but I'm not sure that anybody else does, is a worldwide directory of pathologists. We want to have a profile, a web page for every pathologist on the planet. It's going to be hard for all the pathologists in China and India because there's so many, but we think we'll do our best. We basically will give, if you are a pathologist, which includes a trainee, we will give you a free profile page as long as you're alive plus 5 years. None of us are going to live forever after you die. We hope somebody will tell us. We'll put that down so that people won't try to contact you. We'll put a notice, a death notice if there is one, so that people will know. I linked this page in my email signature, my CV. I suggest you may want to do that also. You can use this page to tell other pathologists about you. If you don't want anybody to know about you, you don't want to be listed, you can tell us and we'll take your profile down. We will update it very easily. You can help educate other pathologists by giving words of wisdom, your experience, the secrets of your success. So this is my profile page. You see I've got a favorite image, words of wisdom. Do what's in the best interest of the patient. Sometimes that's hard because it's complicated. You know, your staff wants you to do one thing and you think it's wrong. And then the secrets of success, this is basically how I started the website. You want to do something difficult, you start and keep going. And I've been doing this for 24 years. It's very hard at first, but this is the rest of my profile. So you can see it could be very extensive. Anything that's useful, we can put on there. We list on our directory page how many profiles there are. Pretty much the US and Canada are complete, and that's because we try to find every pathologist that's through public means. We don't have any secrets. We create a profile for them. We tell them we've created a profile. If you don't want it, tell us. They can opt out. They can update it too. We can do that everywhere except pretty much the EU, where you can't do opt out. It's against their code. So they have to actually send us a survey, which it turns out most people won't do. So it's harder. It's going to be harder for us to get to EU countries. We've started working on Japan. I think we have 195. If we get a list of pathologists, we could create profiles. Like I said, tell the people if they don't like it, they can opt out. We have totals by subspecialty, by different positions, and it's very easy. You want to add a profile, you want to change it, go to the directory page, fill out this short survey, and we will update it. We do it ourselves to make sure that there's nothing inappropriate on the website, so we're kind of screening it. We have favorite images by subspecialty. You can search the directory. We're going to have a most informative profile contest starting next year, only for people who are interested. We want you to have a informative, up-to-date profile, so you check on it at once or twice a year. If you move, you should update it. Just send us an email, fill in one of those links. We try to list every book of interest to pathologists. It's free if it's on Amazon. Otherwise, it's $300 for 5 years. You can search to find them. I know a lot of people don't like books, but we still do like some books. And something new that we're started, we don't have anybody who has yet taken us up on this, but we would like to publish your pathology book. We know how to publish. We can post it in a section of our website. We can do no charge. You have great exposure. We will promote it to everyone who comes to our site, which is pretty much every pathologist in the English-speaking world. Much faster than print, and it's easy to update. So if you're interested, let us know. The advantage to us is that we can use your images where needed on our website, and maybe if you have authors, maybe they'd want to write for us. We have a case of the month. This is submitted by editors, not by other people, because the problem was other people would send us cases, and sometimes the diagnosis was not correct, which is troublesome. If you sign up for any of our newsletters, we do not give anybody access to this email list. So we have a lot of advertisers who ask for it, and I say no. And if they ask again, I say no. So we're not giving out your email to anybody. I don't care how much money they give us. You can search for cases if you want to look at all the thyroid cases. We have a list. We are on social media. We are no longer going to be on X for the reasons that everyone else is abandoning it. And we're thinking of adding some new social media. If you have an opinion on this, let us know. We have a games page with a weekly Wordle. We have a crossword puzzle. It takes a long time to write a crossword puzzle. We'd like to do more. If you would like to do a crossword puzzle, let us know. Our staff are overworked, so it's hard for us to get a lot of them. And we have a section on pathology-related humor. We don't make it up. We just link to it. So if you know something that we've missed, let us know. This is very popular. We have a question bank. Every time somebody writes a new topic, we ask for from 1 to 3 questions. They're board review style. They're not actual board review questions. We have over 4,400 sorted by subspecialty and chapter. We're considering an app so that you can keep track of what questions you've answered. We don't like registration, so instead of registration, we would keep the data stored on your device. Now, we're pretty sure we could do it. We haven't done it yet. So it would be on your laptop, on your mobile, and that way you don't have to register because it's on your device and no one else can access it. And we have a blog that's free. It gives you updates, what textbook topics we've updated, shows images, other things that are going on with the website. This is a list of our newsletters. Click on the newsletters tab. You can sign up. We don't give away your email. If you don't want it anymore, you can unsubscribe. Our jobs page is one of our most popular pages. It was quarterly. Now we're going to have an annual report that kind of sums up what's going on with jobs and the pathologist jobs. Mainly the ones it's based on our website, which is mainly US and Canada. Dr. Zinger and I wrote a paper which we presented at USCAP on the job market. And for fellowships, Dr. Zinger likes to write papers. We also did another paper on fellowship trends, again on our website, so it's mostly US and Canada. We will post fellowship ads from other countries. These are ads. You have to pay for them. It's not law. We'll do it from anywhere, but that's just where we've got most of the interest is US and Canada. We also post conferences from around the world. It's not that expensive. The conferences, the number's gone down after COVID. It's come up a little bit. It's still not where it was. But you can look if you're looking for conferences to attend. Again, to look at our website, it's all free. It's very simple. Copyright is important to us. Copyright is our intellectual property, which we own. When we write these pages, we own the copyright. You could use it. You could use it for educational purposes. You cannot cut and paste it to your website. Maybe small bits and pieces of it. if you try to do more, we will probably find out and we will contact you. And we have shut down websites when we told people you can't do that, you have to remove it, and they didn't respond, and we shut them down. So don't do it. It's just like shoplifting. It's easy to do, but you're going to get into trouble, right? Now, a lot with AI, we find people that are trying. AI needs data to teach their models. Don't use our website without our permission, because eventually we will find out. We've had people anonymously tell us that people have used our model, and we can sue you. We can file criminal charges in the U.S. and Canada, and we will do that if you don't change it. We can also get your paper retracted if you're using it without our permission. So contact us. We'll try to work something out. Everyone will feel better, and it'll be better for you too. In the future, we're working on AI projects of different types. We may have a chat box. We're working on that. The website's 50% complete. We would like to make it 90%. So we need more people to write for us. We'll also need to hire more staff and get more editors. I'm not worried about that. We really just need more authors. We're going to get more host slide images, and we may have some other features related to that. I am stepping down in a couple of days as the CEO, and Rosie, who's been with us, she's not a pathologist, but she knows the website. She will be taking over as CEO. It's not really going to be a big change. She's basically been doing this for most of the past year, and I will still be around. You'll see me at the conferences. I'll probably be working the same number of hours, but just on different things. I won't be doing so much day-to-day stuff. So we've been around for almost 24 years. We're trying to think, what do we need to do for the next 25 years? Maybe you have some ideas. You can contact me at any time. If you can hunt me down at conferences. I'm at a lot of the major conferences. I'm very approachable. Or email me. I'm up almost all hours of the day, it seems like. So thank you very much. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a very interesting talk, because all of us, we know the website, but it's important to know what is behind. And a lot of work, a lot of people involved, and like very intricate details about the kitchen, right? Yeah. And also it's good to know that how are you making a strategy about future. Yeah, very nice presentation. I think
Thank you.
It's really rare to get insights about it. So we have still people with us. Thank you, guys. If you want to make a question, you can use chat, or you can easily unmute yourself. Just say hi or thanks to Nat. That's very easy. You're welcome to do that. I will read those questions. Do we have questions from our people here?
Fine, go ahead. I'll make less.
Okay. So there was a comment. Actually, I noticed that we have a quite broad geography of people joining us here on the Christmas Day. As far as, of course, Japan, Indonesia, and I see Vietnam. I see people with Mongolian names. I believe there are people from India. Also in Europe, from Spain, there was a message. Hello, Europe. And also, Denise, you came from US, right?
Yeah.
So very broad geography. Let me see some, basically people.
So all these people from overseas, I'd ask you to sign up for our directory. Make sure any other pathologists you know sign up. One thing I forgot to mention is we have something called ambassadors. So ambassador is somebody who helps get people they know, maybe from your institution, from your country, if it's not a big country, from your subspecialty group. There's a new group of digital pathologists. People representing that group. Try to get them to sign up. At your institution, if people come and go, try to get it updated. We give you a gift certificate. I mean, it's a certain amount of work, but it's basically all the people stay current, and it helps them because people do reference their profiles, and it's important to be up to date. Your institution may not keep your profile up to date on your website. You may not be on your website for your institution. We will keep you up to date. So the ambassadors help. But like I said, all of you, especially if you're in an EU country, you need to sign up because we can't sign up for you, or we'll.
I can second that because actually I use a link to my profile in directory, because I have no my profile in my hospital. Like it's like we renew the website page, and like that's the easiest one. And also I can edit it anytime.
Right.
I can send you a request, and you can upload my CV. So I would definitely recommend to everyone. Maybe you guys already have generated for you pages on the worldwide directory of pathologists. Check it out. And otherwise, you can update it. And once again, you may consider being ambassador. I think it's a great idea, actually, to have ambassadors. And I think you have this kind of ambassadors in major American.
Right. We have it mostly in the U.S., but in your country, you can see how many. You can take a look and see how many pathologists there are, and you can see who you know and who you know that is not listed there, and contact them, or ask, or you can. If you give us a name and an email, and tell us that the person gave us permission, we could create a profile and then just send it to based on what's available on the web. Now, usually people have something on the web. Our staff are pretty good at finding it. We don't find anything. We don't look at secret records or anything like that. We just look at what's available. But usually people have written papers. They've showed up in newsletters, so we could find some information, at least to start up for a starting profile, and then once it's done, you can update it. That's typically how we do it.
One thing I can share with everyone, I never seen this is in my experience before. You see this email of Nat. That's the only person who responds immediately to your emails, irrespective of the day, of the season, of the time. You may try that, and it works very efficiently. So far we have just like people saying thank you to Nat.
Right.
And June, if you want to make your question, that's probably going to be the only live question.
Actually, yes. I'm sure that many people ask the same question to you. Is that are you considering upgrading this to let's say true journal, let's say e-journal, which have citation score or impact factor, those academic scores?
We're trying to get this to be on PubMed so that the article, so that when authors write for us, that it will show up on PubMed. There is something called Stat Pearls that does that, and we're working through it. It's very complicated, at least for us, but we've spent a lot of time on it. So that's our plan. So that'll be better for the authors because then they can cite it. I don't think it will have any more information, but it will be good for the authors. The authors want it. Now, right now, what we recommend for authors is you can still cite us. You can cite our site. We have international exposure. It's peer-reviewed. And we do list the traffic, which is usually very high. Now, Google Analytics has been a little quirky lately. The numbers have been all over the place. I don't know. We're trying to figure out. So we've been removing the numbers from time to time. And sorry about that for the authors who are wondering what's going on. It's not us. It's Google Analytics, which is what we use. And we're trying to figure out what's going on. And so I think from time to time we've removed them. But we will get it figured out eventually. And that's something. Our highest topic had over 200,000 visits last year. So you think about that.
Wow.
200,000. That was basal cell carcinoma of the skin. A lot of them have over 5,000, which is really a tremendous number of people who are going to read what you wrote when you write for us.
Maybe more than Nature papers.
Right.
So my recommendation to it is that why don't you just create just a hit to get a link to cite the page. So there is something like if you go to the PubMed, each page, abstract, there is a hit to say cite.
We actually have that on each topic.
Oh, okay.
So like this page. I don't know how to access it here, but I know we did it for executive.
Oh, okay.
So if you look right under the author section, below that it says cite this page. I would double check that it's still there.
Okay.
The website's got a lot of stuff, so you're right. It's hard to. One of the reasons I give the talk is because people don't notice everything, and sometimes I forget that something's been there too, because we have hundreds of features. So.
Then the same thing is can you send it to the EndNote style or what is the boundaries?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, those styles. Yeah.
Okay, well that we have not thought about. So
I can share that with you.
Okay. Okay.
That's the thing, that because I cite a lot, for my papers, and
Right.
I'm always searching how to cite the things, this web page, which is it just gives turn me down to cite the page, right?
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
We'll try to make it better for authors by doing that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, great. Thank you.